All right, so let's go ahead and look at an example together of how we can pull in different resources via LDAP. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use a special app that we have created that simply reads JSON files and pulls things in. So we're sort of working with the example, but we're going to add some additional resources as well. All right, so again, if you are not already logged in, make sure you're logged in here. Open up the menu. Go to the control panel, and we're going to install the application or widget the same way that I showed you earlier when it came to installing the theme through the app section. Okay, so go ahead and open up the app section, app manager. All right, and I'm going a little bit different than the steps you guys see on the page here, so you can either feel free to go exactly on target with the steps, or you can just follow me here. Go ahead and click on options and upload for the app manager. Click choose file. All right, and if you are on Windows, again, it should be, your exercises should be in C Liferay with your exercises unzipped there, or just wherever else you place it. Make sure you remember where you set your exercises. For those of us on Mac, what I did is I had it in user home Liferay. Okay, so make sure you navigate to your exercises wherever they are. All right, we're going to be in the second section here, okay, called Integrating Identity Management. All right, and you will see a com Liferay training content loader.jar. Okay, go ahead and select that. Click open and install. All right, go ahead and close this here. And while we're waiting for this to install, let's go ahead and actually look at some of the LDAP options in Liferay. All right, so go ahead and in the control panel, let's close this app section here. Go to configuration and instance settings. This is where your system administrators, or maybe that might be you, this is where you would find the LDAP settings. Okay, just to give you guys a quick overview of what this looks like. Okay, now this is where you control all of the sort of general instance settings for the platform itself. All right, and if we scroll down, there is an authentication section here. So this is where we can see some of the authentication options that we talked about a little bit earlier. And what we'll see here is if we click on LDAP, we can go ahead and basically configure our LDAP here to import our users. And like I had said already, the users from LDAP are going to be brought in as groups, and that's the kind of thing that we're going to go ahead and demonstrate using our special content sampler widget that we just added. All right, so now that we have this installed, okay, it should be installed at this point anyway, let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so go ahead and open up the site administration panel. Again, that's going to be the third panel in the menu here. It's going to have the name of the site. And let's go ahead and click Go to Site in the Site Administration panel. Let's go ahead and click Add here. All right, and once this opens up, go ahead and open up Widgets. All right, and in the sample section, we'll see our content loader. All right, so go ahead and either click Add or just go ahead and drag and drop that onto the page. I'm going to open the menu here so it looks a little bit better in my opinion. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and import some of our example content that we can work with here. So we have things like organization sites, so we're going to go ahead and import those first, and then we'll go ahead and import roles that we have. We've created some sample roles that we'll be able to look at a little bit later, and then we'll do user groups and then users, and what that will do at the end is that will demonstrate for us what it would be like for our LDAP importing. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. All right, so let's start with the Organizations tab here. So go ahead and click on that. Let's click on Choose File. Okay, and I just automatically went to my exercises, but if you don't see this, again, it's going to be in your either C Liferay or User Home Liferay. Go into that exercises folder and make sure you have the 02 section open. This is the second chapter. All right, and find that livingstonorganizations.json. Go ahead and open that up. And click Add Organizations. Again, what our widget here does is it simply reads the JSON files and pulls in that data. So feel free to take a look at that if you are interested. All right, otherwise we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with sites. So go ahead and click on the Sites tab, choose File. Okay, in the second chapter of our exercises, you will also find the Livingston sites.json, so we can go ahead and open that up. Click Add Sites. So now we have our organizations, we have some sites, and again, we'll talk about all of this in a little bit more detail as we continue on. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and do roles and user groups. All right, so starting with roles, click on that tab, click Choose File, Roles, open up that Livingston roles JSON file, and click Add Roles. All right, and then we'll go to user groups. Go ahead and click on the user groups tag, click on Choose File. All right, and there's going to be a Livingston groups.json, so go ahead and select that as well. Open that up and click Add User Groups. All right, and finally, we're going to go ahead and add our users. So let's go ahead and click on the Users tab here if it's not already selected for you. Click Choose File and Livingston users.json. Go ahead and open that up and click Add Users. So this is going to add a lot more resources than the other ones that we added. So we're going to go ahead and once this has been added, and you'll see that loading at the top there, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the resources that we've brought in. So it's gone ahead and done it for me. If you need some more time, feel free to pause the video and wait for that to load and then start it up again when you are ready. Okay, we have the control panel we can go to. We can go to users and user groups. And we'll see that we have our user groups here with all of their users. Now this would be what it's like if you plugged in an LDAP server and brought in your LDAP groups. They would automatically, by default, be mapped to Liferay user groups. Okay, so these would be the groups that would be in LDAP. Now, additionally, what we've done is we've also added some organizations. So if we clicked on users and organizations, for example, we will see all of our users. And if we click on organizations, we will see our top level organization. And if we were to click in there, we can find some of our other sub-organizations in this list as well. We also have our sites. I can go ahead and click on sites in the sites section here. You guys don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you want to double check, feel free. All right, we have a number of sites here for the different resorts at Livingston, okay, or hotels. All right, and jumping back up to users, if I go to click on roles here, okay, this is where I can find some of our new custom roles. So things like front-end developer, web designer. If we click on sites here, we can see that we have some site roles and organization roles. Now we'll talk about these in more detail later. Some of these are default to the platform, but we have added some that would make sense for the Livingston use case as well. All right, so now we have some resources on the platform. You can feel free to mess around, add some of your own resources. But in the next chapter, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and talk about specifically user organization, user management. So how do I organize my users on the platform? Obviously, we've hinted at some of those here, and we'll talk about them in more detail in the next chapter. All right, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in chapter 3.